If your company processes payroll in Sage 100 Contractor, when it's time to file your W-2 and W-3 forms, the process is a snap. In this video, learn how to process employee W-2s and employer W-3 forms using Atrix. Companies that file more than 250 federal W-2 forms are required to file electronically, which you can easily do through the Atrix e-file center. To print W-2s, log into the company you have closed payroll in, or your payroll archive file, if you have already archived your payroll year. Open payroll, federal and state tax filing, and federal forms. Sage uses Atrix to process 1099s and W-2s. The window that opens includes a list of reports you can file. When Atrix releases new or updated forms, you receive a message when you click Run Report about available updates. You can always select Update Forms from the Options menu to check for updates before you begin. In the Update window that displays, the preferred method is Automatic Update, but you can select another option. For this video, the updates for this year were already done. So now select the W-2/W-3 option in the list. After you select the form, verify the year for which you want to run the form's displays in the year box. Then click Run Report. Atrix compiles your data into a usable format for the process. The W-2 Setup wizard opens. You have three options for W-2s. To perform a trial run of W-2s, choose one of the test drive options. Be aware, changes you make while you're in a test drive mode are not saved. You need to make the changes again when you're ready to process final W-2s. If you begin to process W-2s without doing a test drive first, you still have the option to make changes and reprint the W-2s before the final print or refile. Make your selection and click Next. Verify the company federal filing tax number is correct. The company uses this ID on all W-2 forms. If the number is incorrect, close this window and open 7-1 Company Information to modify. Click Next to continue. If you file W-2s for multiple companies, departments, divisions, or sites that use the same federal identification number, you must select the Yes option. When you select Yes, another window displays for processing with multiple payroll data files. Click the Help button in that window for more information. If you file W-2s for a single company, select the No option. Make your selection and click Next. On the Company Information window, verify the details are correct. You can make corrections in this window, but the changes do not update the details in 7-1 Company Information. To make permanent changes, open 7-1 Company Information, make a modification and save your changes. Then return to W-2s to begin again. Verify the contact information. Add the information if it's not there. Click Next to continue on the Tax Prepare Type window. If you prepare the W-2 filing for your company, select the first option I'm filing for my company or employer. If you are a paid tax preparer who is not employed by the company and you file on behalf of that company, select the second option for third-party preparer. Click Next to continue. The program prompts if there are incorrect or improperly formatted tax account numbers, and Atrix will display a message directing you to enter the correct tax account number. You must complete this before you can move forward. After any corrections have been entered, click Next. On the State Tax Items screen, add all state tax information that needs to be reported on your W-2 forms. Click Add to include new tax items for each list box. If you completed a federal or state tax form in the past, the tax items may already be in the list. Verify what you see is still valid. Select an item and click Edit or Remove to adjust what displays in the state tax items list. Double-click on an item to modify any missing tax account numbers. When you double-click or edit, the tax account number is ready for entry. Type the account number and click OK to continue. When you complete the state tax account numbers, click Next. and perform the same steps for the local tax items, then click Next. For data verification, you must choose Yes or No for each question before you can continue. The data verification is a dynamic process in the W-2 Preparer grid based on the responses you select here. If you have employees who are exempt or have chosen to defer the employee's Social Security, choose Yes. If the employee defers Social Security tax, the total amount withheld for the year does not match the calculation in the preparer. Normally, this causes an error. When you select Yes here, the error does not display. Read more in the IRS Publication 2020-65 on the IRS website. If you select Yes, another option becomes available to designate if you have employees who are Tribal Council members subject to Revenue Ruling 59-354. We will select No. Verify the responses to the remaining questions. If you have employees who consent to receive their W-2s electronically, ensure you select the Consent for Electronic W-2 box on the Setup in 5-to-1 Employees on the Compensation tab. In addition, be sure the electronic W-2 consent form is available from 541 Federal Forms Tax List. In Atrix, filing is also complete. Click Next. On the W-3 information screen, select and enter how specific Federal W-3 firm options display for your company. Use the optional Control Number box to number the entire transmittal in the Kind of Payer section. Choose the payer type that applies to your company. If you are unsure how to respond, click the question mark for more information. Select the kind of employer from the list. Choose 501c non-government if you are a non-governmental tax-exempt Section 501c organization. Choose state, local, non-501c if your company is a state or local government or instrumentality. Choose state, local 501c if your company is a state or local government or instrumentality, and you have received a determination letter from the IRS, which indicates that you are also a tax-exempt organization under Section 501c3. Choose federal government if your company is a federal government entity or instrumentality. If your company doesn't fall under one of the previous types, select None Apply. Refer to the IRS Publication 557 for more information about 501c3 tax-exempt organizations, and view the IRS General Instructions for Forms W-2 and W-3 for more information on how to complete these options. If third-party sick pay was paid to any employees during the year, select the box and enter the amount of income tax withheld. Use the Establishment Number box to identify separate establishments in your business. If you used another employer identification number on Forms 941, 940, 3944, or CD1 submitted for the current filing year, that is different from the EIN reported on the W-3 box C, enter the number in the other EI and use this year box. If the business was terminated during the filing year, select the box. When all selections are made, click Next. The Employee Social Security Numbers window indicates how you want to format the employee Social Security numbers. After you make selections, click Next. After the information loads in the window that displays, you see the title as the Prepare window. In the bar across the top, you see at any time where you are in the process and what information you need to enter. In the grid, the boxes currently in use are highlighted. The verification is active for these boxes in the current step. The first step is to verify the employee names, Social Security numbers, and address information. The program verifies the Social Security number is valid. If there are errors with the Social Security number, a message displays with guidance to correct the issues. A Social Security number cannot be left blank. Begin with a 9. Have an incorrect number of digits, or be a duplicate. You can make corrections in the grid and continue to process. However, any changes you make in the grid in Atrix do not update your permanent data in the employee setup. If you make changes in this grid, remember to also update 521 employees when you complete your filing. After you verify the employee information, click Next. Verify additional employee information. Review the highlighted columns and make any modifications that are necessary. Click Next when you finish. It's time to verify the federal information. These are the amounts Atrix populates from. The employee pays for federal-related boxes on the W-2. Depending on the size of your monitor, you may need to adjust your view to see the columns. Click the separator and drag left to see more columns on the right of your screen. The columns begin with Box 1. The amounts are compiled from your Sage 100 contractor pay data. When you complete the review, click Next. Now you verify the state wages. The grid populates with these amounts from the payroll check records in the software. After you verify the values, click Next. As the program validates the information, messages may display, such as this one, which is about local wages. Choose the option on the message to go back and correct, or continue without correcting. If you are unsure if the error must be fixed for valid W-2s, contact your accountant. Based on the title bar, the next step is to verify unassigned columns. In this grid, these columns are not currently visible. Use the scroll bar to move to the active verification columns in the grid. In the Verify Unassigned Columns page, the highlighted columns show all the taxes, deductions, fringes, and calculations from the 531 window that the software doesn't recognize as being assigned to a particular box on the W-2 form. Many of these columns are calculated amounts you may not need to report on the W-2. If there is a column of information that should print in a box on the W-2 form, click the drop-down arrow above the column name to select the W-2 box that is appropriate for this column. For each box type, a different list of options displays. Choose the box type and option for the column. Box 12 has the most options. After you make your selection, click Next. The Prepare wizard opens to step through the process of viewing and printing the W-2s. Click Next on the informational message. Now you'll see the window for W-2 printing and filing options. In this window, you can choose to have the e-filing service process your W-2s for you. Alternately, you can choose other options and select to print the W-2s and send them yourself. In order to see how the program handles the printouts, we'll select other options: Print My Employee W-2s, E-File Federal W-2s and W-3, and Print Federal W-2s and W-3. Note that this prints the federal copy for your records. Clear the box for E-File to print official federal forms. You receive a message about the benefits of e-filing when you choose to print your copies. Click Next. You have the option to purchase a PDF archive of your W-2s, which provides a way to reprint a W-2 at any time. For this example, we'll select No. You can make your decision when you file your W-2s. Click Next. In the Review Data window, an action list displays. Review the items in this list to confirm that all forms you selected to e-file or print display correctly. The e-file center will not receive anything that is not on the action list. In the Print Reports task, you'll go through the reports on this list based on what we see here. The program will process 5 reports. Click the Print button if you want to print a copy of the action list for your records. After you confirm all forms are correct in the action list, click Next. Again, Atrix compiles information to load the reports. The Report Viewer window opens. We'll cover a few of the basics within this window. You can always see the current report, the number of reports you need to run, and how many pages are within the specific report. For each report, you see the options to print a draft if available, print final, previous step, and next step. If you selected to e-file some or all your reports, you may have a print copy option, rather than a print final option at the top. When you're ready to start printing, select Print Final. After most reports, a prompt displays to print. In this video, we won't print all copies. If the current report requires you to print on specific paper or form. You receive a message for each form or paper to insert into the printer. Read each message carefully to ensure you print on the correct paper or forms. In this example, the employee copies of the W-2 are printing, so you need to insert the 4-part perforated W-2 paper. Now, before you continue after you insert the correct paper, click OK. Select your printer and click OK to print. Confirm the forms printed successfully, then click Next to continue. And now you see Report 2 of 5, which is the employer or W-2. Click Print Final to begin to print the employer W-2s now. A prompt displays to insert specific paper into the printer. After you insert the correct paper into the printer, click OK. Confirm the forms printed successfully, then click Next on Report 3 of 5 federal forms. In the options earlier, we chose to e-file federal forms. This is your copy of the federal W-2s. For this video, we'll select No. Click Next. Now is Report 4 of 5 federal W-3. The 941 designation is for the type of preparer you selected in the company setup wizard. For this video, we'll select No to print the form W-3. Now the last report to print is the employee notice to send with the W-2s. Note that you print a single copy. You can make copies later. Click Next step to complete the filing. If you choose to e-file your reports, the program connects to the Matrix e-file center. Sage 100 Contractor uses the same Matrix software to file 1099s, W-2s, and quarterly reports, along with ACA reporting and HR documents. If you have not registered for the e-file center, go to the website at efile.atrix.com and click Enroll. Follow the registration instructions. If you already registered for the Matrix e-file center, enter your username and password and click Login. After you log in, follow the prompts to select a date to file your forms. Matrix files the information based on the date you specify in this process. If you selected any services with an associated fee, such as the complete e-filing package, which includes the printing and mailing of forms to recipients and employees, there will also be a prompt to provide a method of payment. When you complete the process, to check the status of your filings, log into your e-file account on Matrix at efile.atrix.com. When your e-filing completes, the program opens the W-2 History File Options window. The last completed actions area displays the form type and the last completed action date for that form. Below the grid, there are two options: View Detailed List of Completed Actions and View Instructions on Returning Later. The grid in the History File Options window displays only your last action and date. Click the View Detailed List of Completed Actions to view all actions taken on the listed form. Click View Instructions on Returning Later to see what the steps are to take actions at a later time. Under the available actions, there are 3 actions that are always available to perform from this screen. The first action, Correct Completed W-2s, is always available to make corrections to W-2 copies that were already processed. If you select this option, the program returns to the beginning of the W-2 filing process where you can make changes to the W-2 data. The next option that's always available is e-file or print incomplete W-2. This provides a way to file additional W-2 copies you have not processed. If your recipient copies were printed from the W-2 wizard, and now you need to e-file your federal and state copies, select this option, then click Next, and the W-2 Printing and Filing Options window opens. Finally is Reprint Completed W-2s, which allows you to reprint a copy of any W-2 filing that you already completed using the W-2 wizard. Now, if you want to start over with filing your W-2s, choose Start Over and the program returns to the beginning of the process. You may do this if you have new payroll data, or you want to clear the previous history and start over. This just provides a way to do this. Select the Start Over option and click Next. If you need to update an employee's email address, To send the W2 password, or if you want to look up an electronic password, select the W2 password lookup option, make a selection, and click Next or click Close to exit. Your W2 filing is complete. On efile.atrix.com, you can follow up on your e-file statuses. In this video, you learned how to process W2 and W3 forms using the Atrix wizard.